News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moskow.
Karen, we begin with the latest developments involving Iran. The White House says President Trump will make a decision on whether to strike the country within the next 2 weeks. The president is scheduled to attend a national security meeting in the Oval Office later today. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt spoke to reporters yesterday.
I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "There's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future. I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks." The president is always interested in a diplomatic solution to the problems and the global conflicts in this world, but he's not afraid to use strength as well.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the president's goal of halting Iran's enrichment of uranium and preventing the country from obtaining nuclear weapons remains intact, though she says if there's a chance for diplomacy, the president is always going to grab it. And Karen, cybersecurity experts in Israel are saying that Iran's tapping into private security cameras to gather real-time intelligence. Bloomberg's Ewan Potts reports the revelation exposes a recurring problem with these devices, one that has emerged in other global conflicts.
Earlier this week, a former Israeli cybersecurity official issued a stark message on public radio. Turn off your home surveillance cameras or change the password immediately. The warning was later backed by Israel's National Cyber Directorate, which confirmed to Bloomberg that internet-connected cameras are increasingly being targeted as part of Iran's war planning. Similar tactics were employed by Russia following its invasion of Ukraine. And while researchers have been sounding the alarm about vulnerabilities in security cameras for over a decade, there is now increasing evidence that for countries at war, these systems are being exploited as a critical weak point. In London, I'm Ewan Potts, Bloomberg Radio.
All right, Ewan, thanks. Meanwhile, the war in Ukraine goes on. Overnight, Russia unleashed a wave of drones and decoys into the cities of Odessa and Kharkiv. Ukraine's Air Force says 16 drones managed to evade its air defenses. At least one person was killed and 14 hurt in Odessa. The drones there damaged several apartment buildings and the city's central rail station. At least 4 others sought medical help in Kharkiv.
And back here in the U.S., Karen, the White House has scored a legal victory over its deployment of National Guard troops in Los Angeles. A 3-judge panel has ruled that the Trump administration can continue using the Guard to respond to anti-deportation protests. Lori Levinson is a former federal prosecutor and a professor at Loyola Law School in L.A.
The bottom line is that this panel of judges believe that there was enough interference, enough violence going on in Los Angeles that the president, in his broad discretion, had the power to call out the National Guard because that's what the statute allows.
Loyola Law professor Lori Levinson notes that the state of California could still appeal this ruling to the full federal appeals court or to the Supreme Court. The lower court judge who ordered the federal government to return control of the Guard to California is also holding a hearing today. Turning to markets now, futures are lower as we close out the holiday interrupted trading week. Today, investors are bracing for about $6.5 trillion of notional U.S. options expiring, and that could lead stocks to swing more wildly than the subdued changes we've seen in recent weeks. Every quarter, a cluster of different exchange-traded derivatives contracts all terminate on the same day, leading to what market watchers sometimes call a triple witching event. Now, it's not expected to add additional volatility today, but it could open the path to more sudden stock market moves next week.
And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moskow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.